Howdy, 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 everybody. Let's get over here and see who all we got. Oh, we got Mr. Lee, 3 Rail, Greg, Mark, Dwight's there, Brian.
Greg, Mark, Dwight's there, Brian.
Whoa, somebody's got to kill their mic if they're watching the show. Turn the sound off on the viewer. We're getting the feedback over here.
Yeah, if you've got your YouTube channel on, you got to mute that volume.
Here comes BNSF 1982. Jason. I want to let everybody know, and I'll say it a couple more times during the show, there will be no shows next week because a whole bunch of us, especially all of us that have the capability of streaming the shows, we're going to be in Missouri next week for the NMRA show, so there'll be no shows next week. But when we get back on the 14th, we got Who's Big Bill talking to. And then on the 21st, we've got Big Bill again. He got 2 people lined up, so. And for those who didn't notice it, yes, I did put a video out on my channel after almost 3 years. So it's up. I didn't think about it, but I will post it on the YouTube Model Builder site. So, alright, anybody got anything going on? Bob's not at home. Cabana Bob's packing to move.
So,
Lloyd's got his lumberyard.
For work, going back home tomorrow. Getting ready to go to Kansas City next weekend, of course.
Yeah. That squawk is coming from you, Cabana Bob.
okay.
Anyway, turn the speakers down just a little bit. Just turn your volume down a little. That should take care of it.
How's that sound?
Well, we'll have to wait till somebody talks.
How about now? How's this working?
Yeah, I'm not hearing it now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, like Bob was saying earlier on the laptops, if you got the speakers up kind of loud, they'll feed back into the microphone and gives us a squeaky sound. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this week I didn't get a chance to get it. Own mics or even a set of headphones like Chris has, just something. Actually, last week I fell asleep before I got. I forgot all about the group because I fell asleep watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
Guess it has something to do with old age.
Yep.
Well, let's see, Dwight, he's got up here. I just returned from Cedar Falls, Iowa. While there, he bought a SD38 with a economic sound.
Let's see.
Well, I plan on staying in Kansas City all weekend long. Be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, go home Sunday.
Yeah, I'll get there Wednesday afternoon. Andy's coming in on Thursday. We'll both leave Sunday morning.
Yeah. I gotta get my car fixed on Monday, so I can drive down on Friday. It never ends.
Yeah. Well, while at the show, I'm not doing any clinic, Sparky. I'm just going to get over Friday and walk around shooting a bunch of video, talking with the vendors, interviewing them, interview other people, shoot the layouts that are there. Andy Manusco, I know I messed his last name up, but he's going to have that big bridge of his there, so I definitely want to see that and get some pictures of it.
Yeah, that should be really awesome to see.
Yeah, it's between 15 and 16 hour drive for me too, Sparky. That's going straight through.
Oh, it's about 2.5 hours for me.
I don't want to hear that, Bob.
Rub it in. It's only like 8 for me.
Hey, Ralph.
Howdy.
Hey, Ralph.
How's everybody tonight?
Good.
What's that?
Johnny, I'll expect a couple of text messages with some pictures of that bridge.
Alright.
I imagine that's something. I mean, we've all seen the pictures of it, of course. I'd imagine that's something that seeing it in person would be. You know, some things don't scale well to video and stuff. But
No, I agree.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Not very
IRL.
well. I just hadn't told Andy what I was going to do was get him to get out on his hands and knees, and we'll set tripod up on his back, and he'll be the cart, and we'll just scroll down across the bridge there. Since I don't have a rail to put on the tripod.
We'll just have him sit down on the floor while we videotape it. So, boy, this thing is really tall. Look how tall this bridge is. He's standing on a box even.
Yeah.
I don't know why they put this bridge way up near the ceiling.
Yeah, Kevin Jones said he's coming to Kansas City. I get there about Tuesday afternoon. If he make it through St. Louis before the rush hour, I'm kind of hoping when I'm driving up through there, I'll hit St. Louis about lunchtime or a little bit after, so hopefully I won't have to deal with that rush hour either.
Oh, I need to take that into account. I got to look at that on my schedule. It's only about 8 hours for me in St. Louis. It's right about the halfway point. So
Yeah.
I'll have to look at that and see where it's going to lay time wise.
Yeah. No, Lee, Ralph's not going to KC.
Ralph's not going to Kansas City.
Ralph or Lloyd, either one of them to go.
Yeah.
No. No, not going to happen.
They whipped out on us this year.
Oh, I would.
Yeah, well, with the exchange rate from Canada, it gets pretty expensive, huh?
Yeah, I know. It is a bad time right now.
And that's what killed me when I went to Springfield.
Oh,
was
yeah.
the exchange rate, and it was better then than it is now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but Ralph, I told you the house that Andy and I rented has plenty of closets. You and Laura could have your own closet.
They're walk-in closets too. Just not sure how far deep they go. Like maybe 18 inches.
That's right. So you wouldn't have to sleep standing up. You could at least sit down, maybe stretch your legs out a little bit. Hey.
Just leave the door open, right? The closet door open.
Yes.
Walk out your legs.
Duck in.
Won't be much different than the cottage I was up on the weekend. Bunk beds. That's all they had was bunk beds for the visitors.
I bet you Jane didn't get the top one.
She did.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, she did. She could have had her pick of a bottom one somewhere else, but she wanted it in the same room I was in, so she had to pick the top. I was already in bed. Too bad, so sad. Watching her climb up was a riot. It's not a typical bunk bed where you had one on top of the other. One of them was 90 degrees to the other.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Right? and where the two of them intersected was a 2x6 with footholes cut in it for a ladder.
Oh, geez.
And it went up about a foot and a half higher than the bunk bed, so you could hang on to something while you're taking that last step. Well, that was a riot watching.
Well, he said he was in bed first, which means he acted like he was asleep, so she would drag her to bed. So he's looking with one eye open and trying to laugh at her while he's playing like he's asleep.
Wasn't quite that bad, but close.
Good thing I'm not married, because if I was and had to do that, I'd wait till she got almost to the top and then goose her. Get her on up there.
Oh, dear.
Well, I do have some non-train related news.
Okay.
Oh, yeah?
Interesting. I'm going to be going to the Miss America contest in Atlantic City the beginning of September. So I just bought tickets, and I'm escorting my niece there because she's going to be the makeup artist for Miss Minnesota.
Huh.
Oh.
Well, that's a different kind of video for your channel than normal, but we'll all look forward to that.
I probably won't videotape anything because I didn't buy tickets to go inside. I'll have videotape of stuff, but you know, don't know what's going to happen really. She's probably going to go to some after parties, and she has backstage passes and everything else for the show and the contest. But we'll see.
That sounds all right.
But yeah, I had to drop $2,200 on plane tickets, hotel, rental car.
Ouch.
For a week in Atlantic City, yeah.
Been to Atlantic City before?
No.
Pretty, you've been to Vegas before, right?
Nope.
Oh, okay, well that's good. That's actually safer. If you've been to Vegas before, people think Atlantic City's like a small town. If you've been to Vegas once and then you go to Atlantic City is a pretty serious letdown by comparison.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's Atlantic City is dead now.
Yeah.
I was there 2 years ago, and there's nothing. I mean, most of the first of all, most of the casinos are closing down.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I'm not too enthused about gambling anyway, so it's going to be easy for me to save some money.
Oh, there's a boardwalk.
Yeah, there's something to walk on. And that's about it.
Just all walk there
Hey,
at night.
call
that's
Big
all.
Bill while you're out there.
Yeah.
Run by see him real quick if you're not going to be in the show or nothing like that. Because Sparky goes, oh, Bob entering the Miss America contest. Did I hear that right?
Yep, I'm entering as an alternate. Yeah. I don't even have a dress yet. I'm just waiting for someone to give me one.
Yeah.
I probably should find one down there in Atlantic City when I get there, I guess. Never know what I might run into.
Yeah, Brian W. said visit the South Jersey N-Scalers.
South Jersey N-Scalers, huh?
Yeah.
Are they in Atlantic City?
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah. See, I'm pretty much the chaperone and the driver for my niece, so she doesn't drive, so I gotta
Bob's Taxi.
basically chaperone her everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you may not get time to run over to Bill's then.
Probably not. But yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Things could change.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, you ought to get in touch with him. Get in touch with him anyway. Who
Yeah,
knows?
she
You may
could've-
be able to talk him across the bridge and meet somewhere for a supper or something.
Yeah. I mean, she could have stayed with Miss Minnesota at their complex for friends and family and stuff, but she waited a little bit too long before she could make a commitment, and all the rooms were taken.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well. Could have stayed there too. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Well, I'll air this little firestorm for a few minutes. I'm not going to get too involved on it, but Brian W. has asked thoughts on the factory closing in China affecting Atlas, FV, Trainworks, etc.
Yeah.
I think there's a total of 6 now.
There's 6 of them.
I think it was probably forced by the government. You're sick. You need to close.
Ralph,
no, Bob.
Ralph, you're muted.
Bob, that's not true, Bob.
I know.
Had nothing to do with the government.
I'm being hypothetical.
No, well, that's how rumors get started, I guess.
That's how everything's going on around here. Nothing's true anymore. It's all fake. You never know what's true anymore.
The truth is, the building owner
is
retiring.
Yeah.
He's retiring, and his family doesn't want to take over the property.
Right.
So they're going to sell, and in order to do that, everybody has to leave.
And the best thing we could assume that makes the most sense is that he did so without any notice to the with very little notice to the manufacturer, so they couldn't plan ahead for it, I suppose.
Yep.
Although, like we said when we were talking on one of the regular chats the other day, the only thing that surprises me is that after the Atlas thing that happened a couple years ago, none of these companies planned for this potential.
Nope.
Yeah.
Intermountain will survive it. Big companies will survive it. Some of the smaller ones like Fox Valley, I worry about them, and that's a spectacular company. But that kind of stuff really hurts smaller companies.
Yeah, I was expecting a Fox Valley 1943 locomotive to come out here like right now. I don't know if it's even been shipped or what the status is of it, but it was the special N-scale version of it. It was going to be the first one out. I think Cotto's coming out with one too, but so I already pre-ordered the Fox Valley one. Sure, I've only got $10 into it to reserve it.
Yeah, Sparky said that they all should get together and buy it out, but the manufacturers, China doesn't let anybody outside the country buy property, so.
Nope. American companies can't own anything there.
Nope. The
of course, you're not that way. We'll sell most of our country to China.
Yeah, the company I retired from, Britain, had a sprocket gear. 3 companies over, and they lost their visa, and the company I worked for picked it up. But
yeah.
And they're loyal. The government's loyal to its own people, so we're at their mercy. We can manufacture stuff over there. But the only thing I said is, especially after the Atlas thing, I just can't imagine why nobody would have prepared for this potential. Had somebody in the wings just in case this is who we're going to go to, kind of pre-solve the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember which company. There's one that's already in the works for a new place. So depending on who they are, things could be settled in no time.
Right. Yeah, it could turn around real fast. And I would say Atlas has already been thinking about this a lot because they've already been through this pain. They probably worked on a lot of divergent relationships or whatever. Again, this hurts small companies a lot because when all these companies, and it's not just hurting model railroad manufacturers, but manufacturers of all kinds of similar products. So there's going to be a lot of manufacturing companies that are going to be going after actual producers. So there's going to be a lot of competition. So small companies like Fox Valley and others, the smaller ones, are going to have a hard time interesting some of those other companies into taking them on.
Yeah. Sparky put something in the chat. He's saying, I thought Rapido owns 2 factories over there. Well,
no.
They made arrangements to support the local people and the government, and that's how they managed to have 2 buildings. They don't own them, but they have 2 buildings. And because they're supporting the local people and so on, the government, I don't think there's going to be an issue with Rapido, ever.
It's the same thing Scale Trains has got.
Yeah, that's right. Scale Trains did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep. They've got their own personal factory, and you know.
Right. They may not own it, but you could engender a lot of bidirectional trust with it if you act a certain way, basically.
Yeah.
But Bob, according to the press release that I read the other day, from like Fox Valley and everybody else, you should get an email on whether your train's still good to go and whether you'll get it, or whether they're going to refund your money, or hold on to your pre-order.
That letter was from Intermountain.
So there was one from several other ones that have been posted too. They're all worded similarly.
It's a painful time in the hobby. With this thing going on, with some of these companies like Monster Model Works selling out, not being able to buy their products right now, companies like Vector Cut going away, Grant Line, we thought they were just going to go away, and they sold. I mean, it's a challenging time of the business front. I think there's a lot of opportunity for cottage industries to crop up with laser cutters, 3D printers, shapeways, things like that. You can do a lot of stuff even as a small company. The problem is, for us as consumers, is if you buy into a product offering, that's what worries me about proprietary DCC or non-DCC systems that are not standard DCC. You don't know if they're going to survive, or if the Chinese manufacturing companies are going to shut the doors on them, and you won't be able to get, an extra throttle when you decide you want one. That's why I like standards. DCC is a standard, so it's hard to convince people to go elsewhere. And then that worries me about some of the things I do, like the track work I do. If something happens and Andy Ricker starts making that stuff that's available at Proto 87 at the Proto 87 stores, that's going to be painful, because Monster Model Works was the only other company I knew of that was making tie plates. Now they were making them in resin paper instead of etched stainless like I'm using, but you just can't count on these companies to stay around. I mean, Shinohara. I mean, as long as I've been around in the hobby, I've used Shinohara track. And I didn't mention that one a second ago. Now when you got Shinohara going away, that's very, very impactful.
Mm-hmm.
They would have gone away sooner if Athearn hadn't taken them over and supported them. Now they're not doing any more with it.
Yeah, and I mean that does leave the door. I mean, this is capitalism, so it does leave the door open to competitors like, my favorite turnouts on the market are commercial ones anyway. Other, stuff you make, fast tracks or otherwise, are microengineering turnouts. The only problem is all they make is the number 6 turnout and then that number 5 yard ladder system. They don't have curves. Well, I mean, and their number 6s are semi-flexible, so you can actually curve them a bit. But they don't have 8s or curved turnouts, or there's a lot of things missing. Slip switches, for example. I mean, whose slip switches are we going to use? Well, Shinohara's it, or Pico, but Pico doesn't look right. It doesn't mesh with other track work at all.
Well, who was it the other day? Walther got in an agreement with on selling them a bunch of their molds for some of their older rolling stock to rerun. Was it Athearn or was it Atlas?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of companies that are quite healthy. I think Athearn's a quite healthy company, or they look like it from a, and I've had this conversation with other people in my other hobby and profession in the computer industry. I've heard people say, why do I care about the business of Dell if I want to buy their product? If I like their laptop, why do I care if Dell's a success or not? Well, if they're not being successful, their quality is going to go down. It's going to hurt them if they're challenged financially, and then they may not be there to support your product. That's what those of us that sold a lot of Dell products ran into 3 or 4 years ago when they went private. It hurt us a lot. So if you're buying a locomotive, and we've got choices. If you're buying a Jeep 40, several people make that locomotive. Whether the company will be there to support it is just one of the checks in the pro-con box when you're deciding who's to buy. MTH, there's some challenges that they've had. So
you run into issues like on that where, several companies manufacture that same locomotive, but their handrails are different, their inner workings are different.
That's right.
The interfaces are different.
Yeah, the quality changes dynamically, and like MTH had a lot of problems a few years ago. Either I think it was MTH with when they had the heritage locomotives. There was a bunch of those. I think Derek Bias posted something. He had like several DOAs out of the ones he had. They were having quality assurance problems. So while I granted, none of us wants to really look at the books or become amateur accountants to be able to buy a product, but it's a good idea to have a surface level idea of whether that company is expected to be around. Now, a lot of these things happen out of the blue. I don't think anybody's seen the Shinohara thing happening.
All right. Well, Thomas was asking. I don't think China allows any companies to outright own a plant. We've already answered that. Has anybody heard about newly planned U.S. tariffs on Chinese products and how these will affect the prices of mall trains made in China?
Well, they got aluminum in them. I mean, there's the parts that are being tariffed do affect us. Steel and aluminum. I mean, the rail we use. Call it nickel silver all you want. It's a steel. So
it's an alloy.
Yeah,
it's not just going to hurt you on that end of it. It's also going to hurt you like guys like me who buy electronic components from China. I started stocking up on some stuff that I know I needed because I'm afraid that the price is going to go up because I wait 3 weeks for parts, but I get them on a cheaper site and I get free shipping from China.
Yeah.
But so, even if you order from America, the company you order from in America won't be able to get it,
right.
Or the price will go up.
And there's already a limit on there's already on passive components. It's already getting hard now to find passive components. There's a shortage because everything's getting sucked up because they're importing it before the tariffs.
Yeah.
Well,
but I don't think the tariffs.
On the internet.
I don't think the tariffs affect the plastic though.
Hang on.
Two guys talking at the same time.
No.
All right, Lloyd.
All I was saying is that there's no tariffs right now on plastic. So basically most of the stuff that's built won't be affected. Like it's going to be very little because you've got the wheels, and when you're talking about a locomotive, then yeah, it might be a little bit pricier. But on most freights, you won't be seeing much of an effect.
Well, not on rolling stock, but on electronics and on control systems, on track and rail, on locomotives, on structures probably won't be a problem, and scenery materials not so much either. Plastics aren't much of a problem because we can produce that ourselves. It's just a petroleum-based product, and we have enough oil in this country to be able to do that stuff. Although I think if we start having problems with that, our oil would largely go to driving vehicles and military reserves and all this other stuff instead of plastic products. And you can't say that this hasn't happened before. I mean, this affected Lionel. Chris will tell you the difference in pre versus post-war stuff. It changed that company entirely because now that was due to the regulations where they limited how much steel a company could actually utilize so that they could allocate a lot of it to the war effort. But the tariffs have a very similar effect when we have to preserve certain materials.
Well, just remember, Congress just passed a law that says that states can now tax anything you buy on the internet. So, my state of Nebraska, starting 1 January, everything will be taxed. Well, your sales tax will now be applied to anything you buy. So, that's a tariff right there that people aren't quite ready for. Even if it's not really a tariff, it's a tax. It's an extra thing we're trying to get away from by ordering on the internet.
It is a tax.
You're not saving any money at all.
It's called a pop tax.
You have to pay tax anyway all over again.
Yeah, it's a pop tax, point of purchase tax. You were supposed to be paying it anyway, but who does?
Right.
Of course. But Amazon actually negotiated this for us back in 2013. In 2013, the government was going to handle that federally. And mandate that, and Amazon agreed to do it and help with the planning of it. They were on, a congressional subcommittee for helping with that. That's why Jeff Bezos has had such a relationship up there, but for the last several years. but he did so with a 5-year latency on it. So 2017 is when the gears really started turning on that. So that's going to happen quite quickly. And honestly, how can we expect that to not be the case? It's been a golden years of the internet not having to pay tax, but as a company, it hurts. It's hard to compete with that.
Yeah. And now you're just going to have, we don't know what's going to happen. People are just probably going to stop buying as much as they used to.
I doubt it. The prices are still cheaper. Prices are still cheaper on the internet. It'll manipulate. For one thing, the internet's largely put out of business any companies that were on the edge of profitability anyway, and especially in our industry, it's just not available otherwise. Internet's the place to get specialty.
If I go to my local hobby store, I'm not paying shipping. I'm walking out there with.
Yeah, you are. You are paying shipping.
Yeah, you are. It's just rolled in.
You are. The shipping is built into the price.
It's barely increased.
Okay.
I don't get $6.95 added on to everything I buy.
But you guys have got it easy. Us up here in Canada, we have to deal with the shipping because the shipping is not $1.50 or $3 or $6. The shipping for us is more like $25 to $30.
Yeah.
The exchange rate. So what you're paying $60 for, we're paying $90 for, and then the shipping is added on top of that. So
you go to your local hobby store, they buy in bulks. They don't charge you $25 per.
Yeah, but they don't buy in bulk anymore. I can tell you that right now. They don't buy in bulk anymore.
They're also paying rent.
Well, they're going out of business. That's why.
They buy on demand.
Yeah, they're also paying rent and paying for an employee to be there, paying for property insurance. I know I run a shop. It's hard to run the benefits to the internet is lower cost of operation. Even if you add the tax rate to it, that's still not enough to make up for all the other benefits that people get. And I love physical hobby shops. I visit them everywhere I go. When I travel, I go check out hobby shops and have a ranking system for the ones I really love. I look forward to visiting them, but rarely do I buy much stuff of value there or stuff that I really care about, because a lot of us these days, hence the reason the RPM shows have been growing in popularity so much, people are a little bit pickier, maybe, and there's a wide range of products available these days. So having the inventory to actually run a brick and mortar hobby shop, that'd be tough. It helps with beginners. People who go in and buy a couple of this, a couple of that, of stuff they like. But I bet the majority of us that are on here are looking for certain kinds of things. I mean, Lloyd was just talking about a bulkhead flat card, lumber cards a moment ago, like similar to what he's got. That's from
the 1970s.
Right, he's looking for something that came from a specific year, or was available or around a certain year, and that's not uncommon at all. That is the common thing. So it'd be tough to have a successful brick and mortar hobby shop that wasn't like Caboose is a kind of rare example. They're large, they have a spectacularly good following, and I bet the internet part of their business is still the biggest part. Even bigger. Yeah, they're the biggest brick and mortar hobby shop.
But the thing with Caboose is they're ran by a guy who knows businesses. He owned a railroad. He's a model railroader. He knows what model railroaders want.
Yeah.
So that's what makes his business a success. Now, I like to support local business as much as I can, even though I'm buying stuff from China. I'm rare. But the fact is the two hobby shops that are closest to me, one's a top 5 Y&L dealer, and you go in there and you don't feel like you're appreciated at all. Nobody wants to talk to you, and he doesn't do pre-ordering, nothing like that. So I'm not going to waste my time, and his prices ain't that great. Number 2, the other hobby shop, same thing. Don't want to talk to you, and the prices aren't that great. So you know what? If you don't want to have good customer service, you don't want to talk to anybody, you talk to your customers like they're bothering you, then I'm going to buy my stuff on the internet, and I'm not going to care about your business because you apparently don't care about your business because you don't have good customer service.
Right. That's what I see too. And I've visited hobby shops in a dozen states over the last few years while traveling, and there are only a couple examples where I could think of where the humans there were people that I would look forward to talking to at all. period. That's a real rare thing. And Caboose was one of those where I kind of chit-chatted with a couple of those guys there. They were quite friendly, knowledgeable guys. Most of the hobby shops you go to, they have no social skill. Most of them have zero social skill.
Yeah.
And a lot of them that you go to, trains are a second or a third thought to them.
That's a big one too.
You know, the model train industry is just, it's there in their shop. It's something they carry. They don't know anything about it. They're RC guys. They're role-playing game guys. You know, they're not model train guys. It's really hard to find a hobby shop now that is model train and the guy knows what he's talking about. We've got one here in Evansville. He stocks a little bit in stock, but a lot of his stuff is ordered.
Well, the shops that I have, the one is a pure training shop, and the other one's a full-fledged hobby shop. But the guy's more into the train side of things. And they're 10 minutes from my house, and I don't give them... I'll go to the one if I need something that maybe they have that's out of stock other places, but I'd rather order it and wait for it than go there because, like I said, customer service is not that great. Because he's running a mail order business, and he only has a storefront because Lionel or whoever makes them have a storefront. So at the end of the day, they just want to sell on eBay, they want to sell on their website, and that's it. They don't want that human interaction.
I mean,
I always do better. I'm definitely an internet age modeler these days. I mean, I even go to the shows, and of the several shows I've been to in the last few years since I got back, Fine Scale, NMRA, whatever show, Amherst, I haven't found much of anything for deals. I am better off to buy it on the internet. I can walk through these shows and look at stuff, and other than rare examples, I could be browsing on my phone at the same time and buy the product cheaper, including shipping or tax or whatever. There are very few deals where these people have had to travel and pay fuel and all this other stuff to get there to sell it to you. The internet's still the better source.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I mean, I still like the hands-on certain models before I actually decide whether I want to purchase.
Sure.
But, you know, when you read reviews and you see that, you know, a company like, say, Scale Trains, for example, you know, see the detail, the craftsmanship, the, you know, reliability, everything else that is in it, one of the Rivet Counter series, and that they're only asking $224, yeah, I could possibly do that. If I don't like it, I can turn around and resell it. You know, and get my money. They've built their name up now.
Well, Tim, you could always go to a hobby shop and look at the stuff, and then turn around and go and buy it online. I mean,
yeah.
you could see the 3Ds, like you could even test it out at the hobby shop. But
that's what Best Buy is for electronics and TV. Best Buy is my Amazon showroom.
All right, Thomas here, ATSF. He said the internet sales tax that people are talking about was not passed by the U.S. Congress, but rather a result as of a recent Supreme Court decision. Only large internet sellers must tax U.S.
Yeah,
Must tax.
It was an Amazon. It was an Amazon target. That's.
And the state of Nebraska is going to force every company that is selling to people that are living in their state a 7% tax.
Yeah,
That's what the law says they can do.
Yeah, because
everybody has to pay them tax.
Yeah, individual states can do that because Georgia's starting to do that too.
It's going to go for several years eventually, because they're losing so much tax revenue from no brick and mortar stores in their state that they says, well, we have to tax the people who are buying the stuff on the internet now because we're not making any money.
Yeah,
that's all it is. It's money. Mm-hmm. We don't have any, so we're taking yours.
Well, I mean, the governments do need a tax base somewhere. And people argue one way or the other whether they should make that from income tax or from sales tax or whatever. And there's arguments one way or the other about that. But to expect that wasn't coming, I knew that was coming in 2010. I am surprised it took this long.
Yeah.
Only that.
I knew it was coming myself, too. I was just,
I'm
sitting there thinking, trying to balance out,
All right, well.
Hey, whatever I'm buying is right down the road. I mean, how much am I really spending?
Oh, yeah.
I can go and pick it up now if it's there, instead of waiting 2 weeks for it to show up in the mail.
Well,
Pay for weight.
If the price is right and the service is right, then sure.
I mean, I could go and order it from the store themselves, and they wouldn't charge me shipping.
And I love real hobby shops. If I had one, I'm a super fan of brick and mortar shops. I'll defend them entirely as well. It's just that most places I travel to, I don't find much for shops, so I don't think I'm alone in that. There's not a great deal of good hobby shops around anymore.
No.
And I grew up, beside of a great one that I ended up working for the entire time I was in high school, a spectacular hobby shop. And it's no longer in business anymore. And it was a big one.
Yeah. And we've got a local hobby shop in our town, and he carries inventory, and he repairs stuff. He does custom work, all sorts of. They've been doing that since model trains came out in existence. I think he's like the second generation model owner and model shop owner, and so he's doing good. He's keeping alive.
Yeah, same thing. Train master. I mean, he's got a couple of guys that. He's got one guy that does the line nail work. And he's got another guy that does, HO and stuff like that. Some of the end scale, but he does internet sales. Plus, he's got the store too.
He goes anything from Z to
a lot of this is supposed to kind of level the playing field between local retailers and online retailers.
Right.
That's part of what it is. It's kind of like it's like a tariff, actually. And that's what tariffs are supposed to be set for, is to kind of level the playing field.
Right.
And that's what your sales tax is by charging online versus, your local. When your local government charges the same sales tax as what they do, or the internet charges the same sales tax for you locally as what your local store does, you're going to be running roughly the same price. You still might find it online cheaper, though.
Quick question. The sale tax that you guys are talking about, is it from somebody who's selling from the U.S. to a U.S. person?
Yeah.
Or if you're going to buy, let's say you buy in Europe, there's not going to be any sales tax there.
Well, it depends on how it's implemented. So Kentucky is proposing a POP tax, or that point of purchase tax. It will not matter where I buy it from. I will pay 6% sales tax. Doesn't matter where.
Well, how are you going to know?
Kentucky will absorb it.
Yeah.
And see, here's the thing, like,
it depends on where you do it, because the company that you buy from has to be able to send that money to the state that is demanding the tax from it. And so if you're overseas, it's like, screw you, I'm not going to pay you guys the taxes or collect the taxes. If you buy it directly from China, that ain't going to happen. But if you buy it from a distributor in the United States, the guy gets it from China, yes, you're paying the tax because the distributor has to report it. So
this is going to be complicated. It's going to be a complicated
future. It's a national sales tax versus state taxes.
Yeah. And so it's,
here in Indiana, I pay 6% sales tax on everything we buy, online no matter what. But now, since I live in Evansville, there's actually a city sales tax.
Yeah.
The city tax on a sales tax on everything you buy within the city. And that takes it up to a total of 7%. They tack on a 1% or 1 cent per dollar sales tax.
Now the thing.
Okay, let me exaggerate.
Am I supposed to know that, sorry, Mike or Tim? That's the biggest argument with a lot of online retailers. Is basically they're saying that you got to know the taxes of all the different municipalities and everything else to be able to collect the sales tax and send it to them. That's a big paperwork hassle.
Oh, it's a disaster. I mean, just the stuff I deal with as a business, where we've got occupational taxes that are by city, and then the county has one, and all these different tax numbers. You have to have dedicated people for that, and the IRS is going to have dedicated people to, enforcing. It's going to be impossible. It's an unenforceable mandate.
You say eventually, but what it'll lead to is it'll lead to a national sales tax.
Yeah.
You guys talked about stuff coming from overseas and so on, and how they're going to know. Well, they're going to know as soon as it comes through the mail. Your post office is going to collect the money when they deliver it.
You have to know how much you paid for what's in that box. So then you get into these situations where you do business.
Well, when you ship something, you have to identify what it's worth.
No.
And if you're a bona fide company, you cannot lie about that, because then you can go to jail for it.
Not here. We don't have to pay. I don't tell anybody what something I ship is worth. I just shipped a $12,000 TV, and I told them it was worth $100 because I carried insurance from a third-party vendor for it. So, yeah, you don't have to tell them that stuff. Not to mention what happens when you get these things that are already complicated.
You just wait. You just wait. It's already happening up here.
I don't doubt that there's going to be some complex changes.
Well, Andy, you're also talking about within the states. Now, if you're ordering something from outside states where it's got to come through customs, they do have to declare.
Yeah, when you're dealing customs, yes.
Yeah, but that's before it even gets to us.
That's right. I don't deal with that stuff.
That's way before it even gets to the consumer.
But if some company is sending you a locomotive from England, say, and they identify it as, or give it a value of $300, when that comes to the post office, they are required, if it doesn't fit the criteria that no taxes are to be charged to it, then it comes to you. But if they have to put taxes on it, they will, according to that price that it's given.
That's only between countries, Ralph.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, but they're saying if they're sending stuff between each other in the States, they don't have to mention the price.
No, we were talking about internationally.
Oh, international, yeah.
Internationally.
Okay, let me exaggerate here. Rapido is in Canada. What about if everybody was to order directly from Rapido?
You
would have to pay taxes? Yeah. Oh, let's say, I'm just exaggerating. Let's say Rapido decides that they're going to have their own internet shop and you guys can all order through them. I'm just exaggerating here. So you guys wouldn't have to pay taxes.
We would probably have to pay some sort of import tax.
Yeah.
Sales tax.
Yeah, like duty or something like that. But you wouldn't pay your state tax or.
Yeah, there has to be agreement between the two countries to collect state tax, because they're not obligated to calculate the state tax that we would need to pay for that from another country. So I don't know of anybody who would do that.
It's all up to how they implement it. Kentucky's implementing it to where you have to pay it no matter what as a Kentucky citizen. So what I've heard everybody saying is in the business space is doing is. If you get an address, like Tennessee is not passing this law, at least for a few more years, it don't look like. So I'm going to get an address and, get a post office box in Tennessee for things that challenge me, because that's only, half hour, 45 minutes drive away, or Indiana, another half hour drive away.
We charge, Andy.
I know. I thought so. Tennessee is pretty good, actually, right now.
Indiana, if I order something from China through Amazon or through eBay, eBay actually looks, okay, your shipping address is in Indiana. You're paying this much sales tax on this item.
Yep.
And then eBay will send that amount to the state of Indiana.
Yeah, but it only affects big businesses too. Like my small business, there's no way we can keep up with that. It's impossible. If they made us do it, I just couldn't do internet sales. And they don't want to do that. So it's just hurting the Amazons and stuff in the world. And us as consumers. So, and I think there's a certain volume of business before you have to self-impose with stuff on yourself.
Basically, you have to have a physical presence within the state.
Well, that's how it has been for a long time.
Somebody like Amazon, they have a physical presence in almost every state now. That they have a lot of the grocery stores and everything else.
Yep.
They're obligated to collect the sales tax.
Well, I don't
Best
have
Buy,
it.
Walmart, Home Depot, all those.
Never mind the grocery stores, just the warehouses.
Yeah.
Warehouses and everything. If they have a presence within the state, they are obligated to collect the sales tax in that state. So basically, they just collect from all states.
Yeah, right. Well, before we wind this up, anybody got any train stuff now? We gone through the tax
Well, I told
tax
you what
issues
I did today.
before we have another Boston Tea Party.
Well, Andy, how are you taking that thing to the train show?
How am I taking that thing? This comes
Yeah.
apart.
Show us part. How many pieces?
Well, you got 5 sections for the bridge itself, and basically you got 5 big sections, and you got like I never figured that one out. 4 leg sections. So currently, what I got to do is I got to rent a U-Haul trailer 5x8 because I can't get it all in my pickup. If I finally get to the point where I can kind of crate them together, then I might be able to get it all in the pickup.
All right.
But Ralph would like what I did today. I got this wild bird under my saddle. And I says, you know, I got the ballast down on the track. Let's try putting down the oil between the rails on the ballast. So I got the India ink out, watered it all down, and I got a little spot on the inside guardrail. I says, damn, that looks pretty good. So I started weathering the outside.
Well, I got my scale trains Tier 4 Gevo in the other day. So, and it's beautiful.
So there's a little bit of weathering.
Would you use an eyedropper and make a thin dilute?
Airbrush.
Airbrush, yeah.
Airbrush, about 1 drop of India ink and fill up the rest of the cup with 91% IPA.
Yep.
And then even where I got a little heavy, like I got a spot right here.
Oh, we can't see it. Oh, there we are.
Oh, yeah, there on the bridge side.
I'll put a little IPA on a piece of paper towel and wipe it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm liking the way it's turning out.
Well, that's the typical argument against India ink is that it doesn't, it kind of, like, I don't know if it's UV or what, or moisture. I guess it'd be moisture. It kind of loses its potency over years. What people say who use India ink on, I use a lot of India ink. I'm a big fan of it. I love the stuff. But a lot of people say using it on blue and stuff that it will bleach out over time.
It does, it does.
Yeah, you can always go back and spray it again, you know, and shoot, you're talking about over a decade or so.
So yeah, I did that, and it took on a whole different patina. One side done, I got to do the other. I can't find your.
Yeah, Sparky's asking Andy, are you going to do any filming stuff at the show in KC?
Which one? Which Andy?
Crawford.
Oh, I think he was talking about Andy with his bridge. I mean, I don't know. I'll probably shoot a little bit of video. Talking about shooting a little bit of video. We talked about doing a little bit of stuff. It's hard.
But you don't have.
During the shows, it's hard to do that.
But you don't have to shoot Johnny though.
Please.
Depends on whether he smarts off again or not.
Please, I need the relief.
Yeah.
If you want to shoot the bridge, I'll tell you the best place to shoot this is from afar.
Just from afar.
Seriously.
Very, very far away.
Right. You got to clear everybody out in front of you, though.
Yeah. But I've done some close-ups, and I've done some where I got the whole bridge in, and the effect is much better when you're standing back. When you start to realize that when you start to realize it's like a 50-car train going over it before it stretches from one end to the other.
Yeah, like a slight oblique angle or something at some distance where you can still appreciate the whole size. You had took several pictures when you first set it up, and it looks big even in the basement, but there's no way you could truly appreciate it until there's.
I can't even do a panoramic.
You have to do something like Hilly Han focus and take multiple shots and then layer them all over a different focal lengths and layer them all together to get a really good picture of that thing.
Oh, yeah. Normally you'd do that. It depends on how you focus it. Normally focus stacking is when you care about the focus up front and afar. With that
That's what I'm
rig,
talking
all you care about is that one plane.
Yeah, I'm talking about like take a picture down the whole length of it, and then
The only way,
a different.
the only way, Andy, the only way is you're gonna have to set it up outside and step back and then do a panorama.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good shot.
And actually, to stand back to get the whole thing in, you got to step back quite a ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or have a really wide angle lens. You know, have a sub 20 millimeter lens or something. You still got to get back some distance just because.
But I even wonder if a wide angle lens would start to distort.
That's right. Yeah, like fisheye effect or whatever. But that slightly askew shot, so looks really good. So you can kind of look above the bridge, and that's where focus stacking really be a benefit. Is that way you can have the arches that were right in front of you, and the ones that were further away. And if you were askew at say 30 or 40 degrees, you only need 4. You don't need to stack up about 4 shots to get a good.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, that makes sense. I thought about that after.
Foliage is starting to look pretty good.
Yeah, your terrain's starting to look really good too, Andy.
Let's see if we can get a shot in.
Well, I tell you what, I think what we'll do, Andy, is get Andrew here, set the bridge up outside the show after the show's over. And that way we can step back, not have people walk in front of it, be able to shoot it.
No, you're going to be there, what, Wednesday, Johnny?
Take that up
Yeah.
with Andy. Yeah.
Because from my understanding is
Show doesn't start till
the layouts get to set up on Wednesday.
Do they? I don't know.
Yeah, when the layouts get to set up Wednesday, vendors set up Thursday. You have to bring things in on Wednesday, but you can't set up. So we can set up. And this takes me about an hour to set up.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I don't know exactly what time Wednesday I'll be getting in. I'll be leaving here somewhere it's between 9 and midnight Tuesday night. And hopefully I'll get in there around about 3, 4 o'clock Wednesday afternoon.
Or Thursday morning.
Huh?
Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday afternoon.
I'm leaving Tuesday night. I'm leaving Tuesday night.
Oh, okay.
Plan on getting there sometime Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, because the schedule for us to set up, I guess, is they want to get us there by 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Well, if Johnny made faster time for some reason, maybe he would make it that quick, but that seems tough.
Yeah, really depends on when I get out of here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I'll enter this thing for judging and see what happens.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of crowds walking around and looking at it.
Don't be surprised if Ken Patterson nails you for something.
Huh?
I said, don't be surprised if Ken Patterson nails you for an interview or something on that thing. For his What's Neat section.
He's got to take a ticket.
Yeah, got to take a number.
I don't know how interesting as that bridge is going to be.
Where is it going to be? It's supposed to be L9000, and I believe from the way it looks, I'm going to be front and center.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
You'll be probably right there in front of
9000, they say it's back. I tried to look at the layout for the place, and I don't see an L9000, so I'm thinking he says it's back on the left corner or something like that, but it's still a good location.
Yeah. Hang on a second. Cabana Bob, can you mute your mic, please?
Yeah.
That feedback came back. All righty. You need to talk, just go ahead and unmute it. But
some of the other shows, they usually put one of those great big fancy displays or something that really stands out near the front door where everybody walks in. Or somewhere right after they get in there, they can see it from there, and it just stands right out. And just everybody come right in there, and they just start focusing on whatever that is. And then, so it's usually like, that's usually a good place to put it, especially something that big. You got to have room for it.
You know, the funny thing is you know, you open up Facebook every day, and this is what you posted a year ago on this date and everything else.
Yeah.
And like I look at it, and it says a lot of it has been this bridge, and I sit there, damn, I've come a long ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, just it's when I seen it the first time, it's come a long way. A long way.
You said that's 15 feet long?
25 feet 4, and I think 5/16 inches.
25. Wow. All right.
And right here where I'm standing, it's about 32 inches from the water to the top of the rail, roughly.
Huh. So end scale would be about 12 feet. Somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere there. Give it a.
Mm. Yeah, I could fit it in my room.
Well, I can
The living room where it's wider.
that one, but I don't know if I want to do another one.
No, I got to make my own huge bridges for my living room area, so I'm looking at sort of concepts of different styles. So I don't want to have the same kind of bridge I have everywhere else in that room. So
Well, the other bridges I'm going to start working on after this is, well, I'm going to do the octagon section, and everybody's, you know, everybody's already starting to complain about that's going to be a lot of duck hunters and everything else. So
yeah,
I will probably make a couple of Fremo modules that actually have a decent sized bridge. One that, like I told Andy, I think is St. Charles Airline in Chicago River, over the Chicago River.
Yeah.
If I go with the original configuration, that ends up being about a 36-inch wide opening. And the other one I'm thinking about doing is the swing bridge in Clinton, Iowa.
oh, okay,
Being about a 30 to 32 inch wide opening, which is wide enough for somebody to walk through.
yep. Not too bad.
So will they all succeed? I don't know.
Yeah.
I said the same thing when I started this thing. Will I succeed? I don't know. I guess just kept pushing, and I'm here.
Yeah.
It's a pretty solid concept, so both of them are.
What's that?
Well, both are pretty exotic. I mean, a 30-foot long set of modules to build that bridge is pretty exotic, but that 8-way intersection of modules is spectacular. But it's an exotic thing you're trying to do. So it's gonna be a big experiment.
It is. I admit it's going to be a big experiment, but if it does work, it will definitely take a whole different direction to operation.
Yeah, it's definitely a big concept. No question about that.
I mean, it will truly give rise to operating a short line or a connecting railroad.
Yeah, I love the idea you were talking about with the short line yards, where you basically made it most of the contact points were division points operationally.
Yep.
All right, Ron, we'll catch you later. I know what you mean about playing in the mud. We got mud here, too. Got to wash the dog's feet every time they come in the house. Ron Boyd's having to go back to work.
Yeah, I wonder if the dog's enjoying that. I'll go outside and get my feet all muddy so I can get washed again.
I don't like it, either part of it.
Yeah, I went and got me a couple more bags of cypress chips. Put them down because they got a big mud hole right there at my smoker where they come into the porch. That'll help cut that down for a little while. Brian wants to know, does Atlas make a Code 83 turnout?
Yes. Numerous.
Short and long, right and left. They also make a Y, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even make a code 80, a code 55. I think code 55.
They don't have. I don't think they have any 70. It's just 83 or 100. But the microengineering has 83 and 70s. But nobody had the options that Shinohara had. I mean, you can get a 70 or 100, and then later an 83. In all kinds of configurations, in 8 different radii of curve configurations, and crossover, double crossovers, slips, double slips, or double slips, single slips. The Shinohara, that's gonna be painful when we can't buy Shinohara parts. Somebody is gonna have to, but that I like microengineering stuff better, so that gives them a lot of opportunity to really excel and differentiate if they can come out with, some curvable, flexible turnouts. Which theirs are, just only within a certain amount of range, or because it'd be easy to make a curved turnout that had a range of, say, you could flex it between 26 and 32 or something for the primary route. That would be pretty doable, but it's a lot harder to take a straight turnout and turn it into a curved turnout. It takes a little bit of cutting, but they are flexible.
You remember that double crossover I was showing you the other night with the modules?
Yeah,
I think that's Shinohara, but I looked and it says that's code 70.
Right. See, years ago, prior to the Walthers arrangement, Shinohara only had 70 and 100. Yep. Then when Walthers put their deal together with them to sell the 83 stuff, it was Walthers by Shinohara, code 83. And as a part of that, Shinohara started making in the Shinohara, under the Shinohara banner, they had 70, 83, and 100. But for most of the years before Walthers made track, years ago when I was buying it, all you could get was 170.
Yeah, I thought I could maybe not have to scratch build something, but Fremo Standard says code 83.
Well, that's just another reason to build stuff. I mean, another reason that Fast Tracks is the way to go, because, I mean, with Fast Tracks, once you've got a jig, no manufacturer can go out of business and mess with your turnout arrangement. So,
the only way it's going to mess with your turnout arrangement is if microengineering stops putting out their track.
The rail.
Yeah.
Right. Which you could still get around that, but you'd have to augment for it.
That's what I've been using on this thing is microengineering.
And I like microengineering rail. I like everything microengineering does, pretty much. I like the rail better. I like how they flex better. I like the detail. I like the ties better. I much prefer microengineering. Shinohara is a close second, but I can't stand Atlas turnouts. I used a lot of them for years on many layouts before, and I always had problems with them. And I learned how to do a lot of modifications on them prior to me learning how to hand lay track. Once I learned how to hand lay track as a
You said this is all I'm all done.
I swore I'll never buy another commercial turnout again. And
he said, I'm all done. I'm hooked.
All right, 3 Rail, we'll see you later. He was saying for all of us headed for the show, safe travels. So,
thank you.
Andy said he sent me a plane ticket so I can come out.
That's awful nice of him. I'm glad he's doing that.
I met you.
that's a good thing about having 2 Andys here. They can pass it off to each other.
I figured he was doing that to me, but
Andy, see how fast he threw you underneath the bus? See how fast?
Yep.
Now, if somebody needed a place to stay, I still got a room with 2 double beds in it or something. Long ways away.
I offered Ralph and Lloyd both closet space at the house Andy and I got, but they didn't seem to be too thrilled about that.
I can't even understand now.
Well, I tell you what, we done got to an hour 10 now, so I think we'll bring this one to a close. Let everybody know again, there'll be no shows next week because we will be at the Kansas City show. And the next show coming up is August the 14th. That's going to be Who is Big Bill Talking To? And as he put in the chat over here, that's going to be, where'd he go? Steve Brown, I think it is his name. Let's see here. Yeah, Steve Brown from It's My Railroad. a regular guy doing a railroad.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting talk.
Yeah, I've went and watched some of his videos. He's got some good stuff. He is an entertainer.
Yeah, he's a character.
Is that the guy that has the ads on YouTube?
No. I know who you're thinking of. No.
Yeah, Dave Piper said do his show on location. Yeah, we're not sure what kind of internet we're going to have. If it's halfway decent, we'll probably be online, but...
Oh, we'll have decent enough internet for that. It's just hard to count on. Streaming takes quite a bit to actually do what Johnny's doing right now.
Yeah.
That's pretty hard to count on, but we'll be able to get on them.
Try to do a show on a laptop with just one monitor is hair pulling, and I've already don't have any hair now, so. Yeah, Steve Brown will be August 14th, Tom. That's on Big Bill's, Who Is Big Bill Talking To show. And then the following week, which is the 21st, Big Bill's, Who Is Big Bill Talking To, is going to have Miles Hale on there. Bill's going to hypnotize Miles and take him back to his early days when he first started getting into the hobby works and all, so to get him to talk about that. So that'll be interesting. So with that said, we'll switch on over here. Just a real quick reminder again, there'll be no shows next week, but we will be back the week after, August 14th. So y'all have a good weekend. For us here in the Southeast, we're just trying to stay dry. And we shall catch y'all later. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Night, John.
Night, John.